back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end's a Starbucks.
Uh-huh.
And that's what we do. He just keeps stopping every time we go around to the Starbucks, getting a whatever they call the biggest.
Yeah. Well, what do they...
Like 10 p.m. at night.
What does he eat during the day?
Whatever.
Oh. Okay. I'm waiting for people to start showing up in here. Oh, there's some people in there.
There's peoples.
Okay, let's get my... Oh, excuse me. We need some more light in here.
Now there's tons of natural light in here.
Like I'm thinking about moving, but I put down so many roots around here that I don't feel like moving far, but I don't want to live in a row home. I want a house like you have, just like a simple house and then a huge garage.
Well, there's tons of stuff like 2 miles that way, though.
Yeah?
I go on my way in, there's houses out there.
Huh. Huh. All right. Didn't know that. I need to go
I don't know if they're for sale, but they're houses.
Oh, okay.
You wait long enough.
Yeah.
Someone's going to die and there'll be one for sale.
It's weird that you say that, but it's the truth.
I think that's how most houses go for sale. At least it's how most houses cheap ones. At least it's how most houses cheap ones. That's a weird delay and it's creepy and I hear myself.
Yeah. Okay.
I can hear my phone going off and like delayed.
Okay. All right. Oh, Burgundy Burnouts already. Anyway, hello. This is RCR Podcast. I don't know what number it is because Nick isn't here to tell me what number it is. Joining me is Justin Kramer, Chevy expert, LS swap enthusiast, and
well, I've done half of one.
Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry then, but still, I don't know if I can do a butt stiff.
I'm associated with one.
Okay.
Loosely associated with LS swaps now.
Justin Kramer also did work on the Falcon in more than one occasion. I thank him for that. He has welded up the transmission tunnel. Oh, and you're also a certified welder.
No, that's John.
Oh, John's the welder.
John's the welder. Once again, I'm associated with it.
Oh.
I am passable.
Okay.
Like if I was swimming, I wouldn't sink to the bottom of the pool. I would, not die.
You're a certified brake installer?
No, I have ASE certifications.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whatever.
Pennsylvania inspection license.
Yes.
Yes. And also the co-owner of Slatington Auto Repair.
Catasauqua.
Damn it. I do it every time. Catasauqua Auto Repair in Catasauqua, Pennsylvania. And already we have one Chevy question, and it's an LS question. I know the answer. This is Burgundy Burnouts. Burgundy Burnouts is a guy who comments all the time. He's also building an F-body Camaro, but using a WRX driveline. So it's going to be an all-wheel drive F-body Camaro with a WRX engine and transmission.
Actually kind of interesting.
It is. I told him, when you're done, bring it here. That's going to be something to see. But his question is, oh, it is an F-body question. Is it possible to put a twin turbo LS into a 98 to 02 Fox body? I don't know. LOL. I'm just shooting shit. No real question. Just dropping by per usual.
Well, yeah. I mean, it would just be a question about the engine bay space.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a Fox body, you said, right?
Oh, did I say Fox body? No,
F-body?
F-body.
Yeah, as long as you can cram the turbos in somewhere.
Like, I think a lot of people see those really nice builds with the LSs where the turbos are right up in front and they do the one for each bank move.
Well, and I don't know. A lot of people want twin turbos so that they can say they have twin turbos.
Mm.
It doesn't make any more power than one larger turbo that if you split, added the two smaller turbos together, you made one bigger turbo.
Yeah.
It's going to make the same power. All the twin turbos do is you have to buy another turbo. You have to buy double of everything, more oil lines, all that stuff. It's just so it's more complicated when there's not really any difference. Like, it's not less laggy because you could just, if you got an appropriately sized single turbo, it'd be just the same of everything. So a lot of times those are, like you said, for like aesthetics purposes. People want to have the symmetrical engine bay.
Yeah, it's
or they just want the cool sound of twin turbo.
Right.
I mean, there's probably some cars where there's some strange packaging where like it would be easier to fit 2 smaller turbos, cram them somewhere.
Yeah.
Versus 1. But I don't know. That would be the only like logical reason for we to do it.
Right. And most people who do 2Js, they start with the twin turbo and then just ditch that setup and get the big single because it's easier and it makes, and it's more tunable and it's less.
Yeah, I mean, if you
less
look at,
things go wrong.
If you look at most drag racing cars, they're all like single turbo. Once you get up into like crazy stuff, you know, like outlaw cars and stuff like that, they have 2, but it's only because they have pretty much 2 of some of the largest turbos you can get.
Ah.
And now they're starting to produce these like huge, I think it's Larry Larson. I think it's a turbo supercharger. I'm pretty sure it's a turbo, but he got some humongous turbo. Instead of having twins, like 88 millimeters, he has one single that's like this or something.
What's that, from a train?
I think it's like made for it. So yeah, if you just, it's going to put out so much cubic feet per minute at a certain PSI, and it's going to have a certain amount of exhaust force it's going to take to spin that wheel up to whatever RPM you want. Whether you did it with 2 smaller ones or 1 larger one, there's no difference. Same as if you had 2 2-inch exhaust pipes versus 1 4-inch exhaust pipe. It's going to be pretty much the same thing. Right.
It's a good answer. He posted a follow-up question. We got one guy in between. Just Crazy Ivan 2 times. Hello. I see you a lot. Hey, Mr. R, didn't expect the podcast today. Yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't use any social media tweeting this because I just got off of a mountain like an hour ago. I was out hiking to Peters Mountain, which is out near Duncannon or north of Harrisburg or just northeast of Harrisburg. I had to drive through some real slab on grade communities to get out there. And you're out on like 360 PA Route 367 for almost like 20 minutes. And then, because, you know, the AT goes through nowhere built up with the exception of like Hamburg and Carlisle in Pennsylvania. Everywhere else, it's just nowhere.
Yeah, people understand that Pennsylvania is like, if you immediately once you leave like the big cities, there's nothing.
There's nothing here. Like, you don't even get Sheetz or Wawa out in some. You run into a Turkey Hill, you're like, wow. Normally, it's like Gas Mart USA.
Once you pass like Harrisburg, there's nothing until Pittsburgh. Like, you can see trees on the highway for an hour.
Yeah. So I get up there and I hike along. I went to the Peters Mountain Shelter, which is totally cool. Twin levels, built really well. And they even have bear boxes there, which have the spring-loaded, not the carabiner clips, but there's like spring-loaded. I see them a lot for like agricultural use. They're just the hooks, but there's a spring catch on them so they can't come off. Those things go through instead of having a padlock. They just put one of those things and a wire. And this is like, that's like 8-inch steel, the whole thing around. You lift it up, and that's where you're supposed to put your food before you go to bed. And you lock it in these things. So the bear can go all out, can go ham on this. It's and they're like bolted to the side of the structure.
Because their feeble bear minds can't open a carabiner.
Yeah.
It'll all be over once they figure that
out. Because there's one weak point, and if they can know enough to get a claw in there and just give that a yank, there's just a little pin that holds that together, pop that, and then you can figure out, lift the latch, and then you're in like sin. So anyway, didn't count on a podcast today, but here we are. Burgundy Burnouts again says, I mean 2 single turbo LS. Oh, he wants to do a twin engine. Oh, okay. 2 single turbo LSs, one in the front and one in the back. It's also a Firebird, not a Camaro. Oh, sorry. 2 Firebirds, one Wait, what on earth is this? You might want to read this. It's the yellow one. You can take the tablet.
Oh, one he has a 3.8 liter in it. And then one he's doing the Subaru swap. Yeah, I mean, if there's room for 2 motors.
The only 2-motor thing I saw was at one of the dyno days.
That Cavalier.
Yeah.
People have done, I've seen like Audis and stuff that have them. I mean, the easiest way for that Firebird is if you use 2 of those, I forget what LS they were, but there was a V8 that came in Impalas and Grand Prix.
Oh, it's the...
I think it's an LS4.
You're right, it is.
But yeah.
Because the one guy did the DeLorean used that.
But that motor and that transmission, the only problem is the transmission's grenade apart. Because they're the same transmission that's in the 6-cylinders and stuff.
Ah. So you'd have something, it'd run for a while. And then it wouldn't. If you're fine with that, then whatever.
Yeah, because my friend has a Oldsmobile Cutlass with a 3800 in it, turbocharged. And it's front-wheel drive, and he was just chewing through transmissions.
Really?
He even put one of those Cadillac front-wheel drive transmissions in. I think it's a 4T100.
Okay.
It's like a 4L80 with a front-wheel drive.
Oh, all right.
And I think it lasted like 2 months.
Oh, that's my goodness. So what did Buick use when they made the Regal with the supercharger on it?
Yeah, but that's the thing. They don't hold up. Once you start putting real power through them, they don't like it.
Sean Troy doesn't have a question, but thank you for your donation, helping us out. Aaron Hayden says, haha, Justin, you are 100% correct. Not much anything between Altoona and Pittsburgh. Some small towns, but you only really see one on the turnpike, and that is Monroeville. Never been to Monroeville. I see Sunbury a lot. That's really it.
Usually I end up taking 78 when I go out west. So I just see like, what's that, like can't think of the towns out there. But whatever. That's the normal route I cruise through Pennsylvania on. It's 78 to 80 and all that, and then going from there.
Oh, when you go up to 80.
Yeah.
And then go across. Yeah, that takes you towards State College, and then I don't know what. We were on that for a little bit on the this past rally, but I forget where we went. Like my defining moment was trying to smooth out Heartbeat of America, GMC S10, whatever that was. Guy who came rolling up when we went to that 1/32nd scale model of the space shuttle.
Yeah.
In a field, who just, you tell them the truth, but the truth doesn't make sense. And they don't believe you that this is a rally. What? And I don't think like the guys from Lemons call the local businesses around this landmark.
They don't, because there was a giant shit show the one year where we went to like the gravestone of Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
Where like halfway through, they're like, stop going there. They're calling the cops.
Oh.
Like, don't go there anymore. So yeah, that they aren't. The guy puts on the rally. I think he just like finds this stuff. He's like, yeah, do that.
Oh, okay.
And then when there's 50 or 60 people throughout the day going the same place, and people in these like rural towns are getting upset.
Yeah. And it's a weird thing because no one's misbehaving. It's just something out of the ordinary.
Well, it's not exactly the finest upstanding vehicles that are rolling up either.
Correct. Yeah. So instantly people are off put. Like when I worked as a lister, this was a gig I had one summer for the National Children's Survey, which I never got a full idea. It seemed like just government waste, but whatever. They were paying $20 an hour. And my job was to go up into like places like Trevorton and like north of Frackville, and just to these little towns that update maps, because Google Maps, I guess, didn't have the resolution they needed to physically look at houses. And they needed to verify that some of these addresses are real houses. You know, some people have like sublet their houses.
Yeah.
And they just talk to the borough and get an extra address on there. So I would have to go up to these houses with this clipboard and just check off that, yes, this is an address. I didn't ask too much about what the children's study was about, but I'm a stranger rolling into town with a clipboard, and I'm making these circles and then getting out and looking at houses, writing stuff down, and people just assumed I was there to rob them, like I was casing the place.
Yeah.
So eventually I just wore a shirt and tie. And then after I got the cops called on me twice, and I had to explain to officer younger than me what I was doing, I just called dispatch, just the local communications, which is out here. You know, if you know the correct number, it's better to call them than 911 and get transferred.
Yeah.
You can just call local dispatch. So I would call them and give them, hey, my name's Brian. I'm from blah, blah, blah. Here's my car. Here's the color of it. Here's the license plate. Here's what I'm doing. And after that, no local officers was called out. They probably called the cops on me and like, oh yeah, we know who he is.
Yeah.
So I think if Lemons would just figure out the jurisdiction of whatever it is, this is a route. This is a organized road trip. There will be strange looking cars. I'm just giving you a heads up. They're all upstanding citizens. Wink.
Yeah.
And then that would smooth things over. Lemons needs a PR guy. Hire me. I have a minor in public relations. George Bull McLean says, have you ever seen a 190E? Oh, a Mercedes. Mercedes 190E. I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, probably.
A 190E LS swap.
I haven't, but I'm sure someone's done it.
Yeah.
Like someone's done about everything now.
Right. I mean, that's a tiny engine bay. They probably have to cut, maybe tub it, or just.
Yeah, but this guy last year did a rear-wheel drive LS swap on a first-gen Volkswagen Rabbit. It was
really?
SEMA. So, like,
really?
You want to
just start welding square.
You can
metal.
make it fit. And it was like that was like the guy's first car project too. He's young. He decided one day he's going to do this, and it made it to SEMA.
Nice. So yes, George, it's probably out there. Also, have you ever seen Jason? Tongue twister. Have you ever seen Jason Statham's 2008 Death Race? I saw the trailer for it. It's a good car movie for non-car people. I think that's one of those movies where
I did see it. Like, it was kind of the same plot's been used in like 8 movies where a guy wrongfully goes to prison and they murder his wife and kid.
Now he's out for blood.
And he avenges them. That's like at least like 6 movies.
I remember like just seeing the trailer, and the thing that turned me off is the move where the car is going like 100 miles an hour, and then he does a 180 handbrake turn and puts it in reverse, and he's still going 100. All right. No, it's a good car movie for non-car people. Yep, I'm sure. I remember seeing it's like, here is your V8 Mustang Fastback, and ooh, like you just say V8 to people and they think it means something. I
could have sworn that movie was older than that, because I thought that was when the new Mustang, like the new retro Mustang first came out.
Yeah.
That movie has to be older than that.
Yeah. Because that was like I was getting out of college when I saw the concept pictures for that.
No, yeah, I'm all thinking about the timeline here, and that had to have been older.
I think
because that was one of those things where like Ford probably gave him that car, like, hey, here's the new Mustang.
It had to be like 05, because
that's when the Mustang came out, was 05.
Yeah.
The new retro whatever.
Yeah.
But the S197, I think is what it's called, in the body style.
Henry, thank you for your donation. Turbo LS. A big block Freedom Ringer powered by 1 or 2 Hiroshima Woo Choo Choo boys, fed by Cosby gas and flammable malaise.
This is the new memes that are going around about mechanics.
I don't know what that means.
That's it. They're thinking of some term for turbocharged or Chinese turbos.
Okay.
The best one.
But Hiroshima is Japan.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make any. They've been doing that too.
They got to go Beijing or.
There's a bunch of them. The one I liked was the like Mongolian rod danglers.
I like that one.
And then it said it'll turn your 4L60 into Dexron soup.
Refresh my memory. What's Dextron?
It's the transmission fluid GM uses.
Oh.
There's like Dextron 2, 3, 6, and all that. We had Dextron Soup kind of amused me. But yeah, that's the newest meme. They're beating into the ground. It's not mechanics right now.
I just saw the S10 LS on a video on Facebook. I tried to share it, but I don't think Facebook lets you share to Twitter. It's street racing a Lambo, and at the end they said "fuck your Lambo."
I didn't see that.
TST 1740. Thank you for your donation. How goes the C10? 2 question marks. And I suppose the answer is which one?
Well, no, I have one C10. That's the turbo one.
Okay.
It's parked outside because I have Project ADD. And I have like 10 vehicles. I'm just like, hey, I'll do this. And then, hey, I'll do this. So there's nothing wrong with it. It didn't blow up or anything. I just need to figure out its tuning issues. And basically, the biggest priority is I'm just going to remake that turbo kit that's on it because it's too bad. Because now I fouled the spark plugs out on the passenger side. And that crappy eBay header, it's going to be like a 3-hour job to change those spark plugs.
Oh, no.
So I need to re-engineer this to where I can change plugs, because when you're tuning like a turbo car, especially one without a computer, like you're going to wreck spark plugs. Just fouling them out and stuff. You're going to be able to change them quickly and get back on it. So that's the biggest hurdle. Other than that, like, it didn't blow up or anything, but I'm changing things here and there to try and make it run properly.
Is there a reference book when you go through from a blow-through carburetor and have to tune it with a wideband in the rear? How do you manage? I don't know the words for what I'm asking.
Well, I mean, it's the same. It doesn't matter if the car is EFI or carburetor. You're still looking for the same end result. Okay. So it's just how you get there. So you're looking for the proper air-fuel ratio, basically under full load. Which, I mean, I'm aiming for like 11 or 12. Okay. The problem is right now it's running like 9-to-1. Oh. Which is basically like, it looks like a diesel when it's under boost. It's just billowing black smoke out. And that's what I'm trying to figure out why it's not working, because it'll go from running fine, and then the second the boost hits, it's just like diesel mode. It goes from good air fuel to all the fuel right now. Oh. And it's just like, yeah, it floods the motor out.
And the way you adjust that is wastegate springs and then jetting?
Well, wastegate springs is just the boost. The boost is pretty good, actually. It's basically jetting, but what I can't figure out is that the jetting's making like no difference. Like I pulled like so much jet out of it, and it still does it. All right. And then it's running so rich that I'm wrecking spark plugs, and it doesn't run right because the spark plugs are all fouled out.
And you don't want to go leaner or leaner.
I'm going leaner and leaner, and it's still just like,
really?
Here's all the gas. As soon as the turbo lights.
What carburetor are you using?
It's a Holley 650 with modifications for turbocharging.
Oh, right, because you cut the
cut the choke off. You drill some holes where you're not supposed to have holes, and fill some other holes that were there and now aren't there anymore, and things like that. But I have a few theories, because it shouldn't be that complicated if I can just sit down and. Well, the other reason is, I haven't. So when I'm driving this around my neighborhood trying to tune it, I have a 4-inch dump off the turbo directly behind the right front wheel. Okay. With no muffler. Because everyone's like, oh, it won't be loud. It has a turbo on it. And that's usually the case. Like, they aren't as loud as you'd expect. Yeah. This thing's insanely loud. And my neighbors, as soon as they see me pulling out, like creeping, they're just giving me the shit look. So, like, I don't want to keep doing hot laps around the block in this thing that's deafeningly loud. So I got to put some kind of muffler on it just so I don't get my tires slashed the next morning. Yeah. So, yeah, it'll get back on soon. I'm just trying to do some other things.
So I kind of have a follow-up question about that, about C10s in general.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think, and I guess I understand why Japanese cars right now, the imports and all the stuff are going up in price in the used market, because those are the stuff like people of our age may have wanted when we were young, couldn't afford it. The craziness that is the 4th gen Supra, and even now some like Civics from the late 90s. There was something on Bring a Trailer where the Civic Si, no, the Civic Si from the year 2000 went for $15,000.
I just saw the first generation STIs that came, like the 04s.
Yeah.
Those are worth a fortune.
Fuck off. Wow.
If they're nice.
Yeah.
They have to, like, that's the trick because they all got ruined.
Yeah.
But if you have like a factory one that isn't ruined, like they're worth more than they were new.
Damn.
Like I get the Haggerty magazine for the insurance, and that they were like, yeah, like it can be worth like $35,000-$40,000.
Wow.
For like an 05 STI.
Wow.
If it's like showroom stock and
wow.
not ruined by some kid.
Wow.
Doesn't smell like vape. all the other memes.
But anyway, it's crazy. So I kind of understand that, but we saw the muscle car bubble inflate and then burst in the mid 2000s. But the C10s, which are of the same era, are going up now.
Well, it's going in stages. Years ago, the 67 to 72 C10s, those were getting expensive. Now they're real expensive. Now it's the square bodies, the 73 through 87, like the ones I have. And there's a couple of reasons for it. First of all, even though the muscle car market like went down, they're still very expensive. Yeah, everybody in their bass boat paint stuff. Yeah, like I'm casually looking for a 67 Chevelle to drive. Yeah, and I'll never be able to afford a 2-door one. Really? Like a 2-door one it's going to start at $20,000. Wow. If it's a pile, I know I'm saying wow a lot, but it's just news. If it's a pile for a 2-door, it's like $5,000 or $6,000. You can get like parts car level, like no motor, nothing from the windshield forward, no title is like $5,000. That's nuts. That's stupid. Because I look at Falcons a lot, even when I have one. I'm like, well, maybe I'd like a convertible someday. Super nice Falcon convertibles, like mint, $10,000. Like kind of beat ones, a nice daily driver, $7,000. Yeah, certain 60s cars are still like reasonable, like Falcons, Corvairs. Like Corvairs, like you'd think they'd be more expensive, and they really aren't. They're like $2,000 or $3,000 for like a nice driver one. Yeah. Bugs are still pretty cheap, actually. That's cool. Any like land barges are still cheap. Yeah. Like, comparatively, like things aren't muscle cars in the 60s. You know, I see like Series 62 Cadillacs, like $17,000 for just needs nothing. Just get it out of here. You can get like a LeSabre for like $7,000 or $8,000. That's pretty nice. But yeah, like a nice 67 Chevelle. Like I looked on eBay and typed in Chevelle near me, $50,000 or $60,000. Oh gosh, not for an SS, just for like a restored 2-door Chevelle. So because of that, pickup trucks and not just C10s, pickup trucks in general are going up. Classic trucks. They're rear-wheel drive. Yeah. They're V8. They're cheap-ish. Yeah. I mean, I know the suspension's a little worse, but I mean, they're roughly going to be the same driving experience as a muscle car. Yeah. On what truck you get. And people have like emotional attachments to them, like when they were a kid. Like the reason I have all those square bodies is my dad has a 78 Jimmy. Yeah. Which is, like the SUV thing. And people like me remember that from like when they were kids. And these trucks that 10 years ago were worthless. Yeah. Like you could get like a nice square body for like $1,000. Wow. Like they were normally like a couple $100 trucks. Yeah. Are now going up because they keep selling for more and more. And now like there was one either this year or the year before at Bear and Jackson sold for like $150,000. What? I mean, it was modified. It was like on airbags and an adolescent and stuff, but still it was like a 79 Chevy. Yeah. I mean, that's why like trucks are hot. The trucks are probably, like gaining really like more than cars for that reason. The simplicity, I suppose. And it's cool to own it. Like it's becoming cool to own a truck. And the worn patina look is in, and people will go nuts if they can get like a pickup truck that has the paint burned off, but isn't all like a rusty pile.
Yeah, the California thing. I think it works out there in the Southwest,
Arizona and stuff. Yeah,
it doesn't work here.
Yeah, here the paint will be fine. There'll be the bottom 8 inches of the truck will be missing.
Speaking of stuff that's been rusted out, do you get any more Jeeps in TJs?
Oh yeah,
the frames.
There was just 2 in.
Really? Educate people for people who are like, I want a TJ. What do you
whatever year range that is.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. Look on the frame in front of the in front of the rear wheels.
Yeah.
There's gonna be holes there. At least if they're from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we just had one where we put it on the lift and started cutting it out, and the Jeep almost broke in half.
Ugh.
Once we took the skid plate out, they had a big skid plate that's also the transmission cross member.
Yeah.
Took that out, and the Jeep you heard it starting to like crack,
flex,
and there was this much of the frame like missing.
Really? Just nothing there.
But it was there until you started tapping on it, and it started falling. It was nothing actually there.
Oh shit!
Like the top of the frame was there, and both the sides and the bottom were gone.
Oh my goodness!
It seems to be a running trend with these Jeeps. There's actually a place in the Poconos that their business is repairing them. I found them.
Really?
They make patch kits, and they'll actually fix them. So it's that much of a business, but that is their business is fixing Wrangler frames.
You said the YJs, the previous generation one with the square headlights, don't have the frame problems.
No, we fixed like 1 or 2 of them, and it was like little spots. The TJ's like 40 inches of the frame vanishes.
Oh my god! And I still see them for like junk ones, 10 grand.
Well, yeah,
yeah,
that's why they're getting fixed. I think Chrysler sells a frame for like $3,000. Like new.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think they're rotting out like that? There just wasn't coating on it.
No, it's a boxed frame, so there's no holes in it at all, and there's no drains. Once you cut it open, leaves, nuts, like from squirrels or whatever, half an inch of mud come out of them.
Oh,
so they're probably filling with water and everything, and it rusts out.
My goodness. I wonder if a solution would be, after these things are welded up, if you just get one of those foam things and stick it in and fill the frame up.
That makes it rust too.
Oh, okay.
Because the moisture gets in there. We just drill a few holes, like 1/8 inch holes in the frame. Then at least the water will drain out.
Didn't know that was necessary.
Yeah, that's most of the frames rusting I've seen in general, not just Jeeps, but all vehicles, is because of stuff laying in them.
Well, yeah, I see like water. Come to think of it, the parts that's rusting on the the parts that did rust on the camera car, a Forester, that was from when they had porous seam sealer, and water just got in there and just stayed there.
Yeah, if you have a C frame where it's like this, then stuff gets in there, and then you drive on a day it rains, and it washes everything out. And it'll get surface rust, but that doesn't really do anything.
Nice. Excuse me. Sorry. I know I let some questions go by. Okay. Adam Simoya. Simony? Just finished a full resto on a Suzuki X90. I always have been a Suzuki fan. How has the new Jimmy struck you guys? So I guess they made a new retro Jimmy that's coming out.
Yeah, I've seen it. It looks neat.
Is it done in the same vein as the Renegade? Is that the sort of weird callback? No,
it literally looks like a 1990 Samurai.
Really?
Like more rounded, but I mean, it looks like you look at it and you're like, that's a Samurai.
Really?
That's what they call them here, in case people didn't know that. They were always called a Samurai in the U.S., I think.
Oh.
Yeah, it's one of those deals where for some reason companies change the name for the North American market.
Right.
Because they think we can't handle the real name.
Like Datsun.
Like Volkswagen calling things a Golf here when they don't.
What are they?
I think they were. Oh no, they called it a Rabbit here. It was always a Golf over in Europe.
Oh, just a diesel Golf.
Yeah, but here they called them rabbits for the first few years. Like we couldn't handle something called a Golf. Oh yeah, like Datsun and Nissan, or the fact that like Lexus and Infiniti exist.
Right. Like they don't think you could handle paying expensive thing that has a Toyota badge on it.
Yeah, people have this weird view of like Americans can't handle names.
Wow. I guess it sort of meant something in the 60s when like Cadillac was its own thing, Buick was its own thing.
Yeah.
And then like you said, it meant you had something special. But I think you sent me that one article, or someone sent it to me, of like this big complaint in like the 70s.
When people realized in the 70s when they were all the same car.
Yeah.
They're like, I paid for an Oldsmobile.
What's a Chevy engine?
Yeah, and he found out it had this low quality Chevrolet engine in his Oldsmobile, and he was fired up.
Yeah. All right, I'm just getting shirt on. I'm gonna get some water. Do you want some?
I'm okay.
Okay. What did I do with my drink thing that holds it mug? I put it down. I don't know what I did with it. There it is. Water. Be right back.
Enjoy the intermission. I can almost read this from here. No, I can't.
I have to sew this RCR hoodie back up. The seams are coming apart. Scrolling up.
I thought people were going to have more pressing Winnebago questions.
Oh, that's right, because I should have put it in the title. Because I just put Chevy stuff in the title.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, Winnebago questions. You can ask questions about the Winnebago.
I was one of the two guys in the Winnebago video. The other guy was Corey, the actual owner. I assisted him in building it, as did John.
When can RCR Vancouver, British Columbia happen? Lots of Chrysler K cars up there. Not sure why. And also awesome skiing. Also, what are your top 10 Steely Dan songs? I want to do RCR Vancouver. It's just a question of time and, unfortunately, money. My top 10 Steely Dan songs.
I couldn't name one Steely Dan song.
Their big hit was Reelin' in the Years. And I also like Hey 19, Kid Charlemagne, Deacon Blues, My Old School, and Dirty Work. I think that's it. I don't think, I mean, I'll listen to their greatest hits all day, but yeah. And thank you for your donation, Skedaddle. If you see Winnebago questions come up in here, feel free to interrupt. I know it's tiny text. That's why I have the tablet.
Oh, I got one there. That's okay. Good questions. How do you get the 440 out without destroying the body? I didn't know how we were going to do this without seeing it. And it turns out that the grill actually comes off. You can see it in some of my videos, but it's like sheet metal screwed onto the thing. Yeah. They're built kind of interestingly. But that grill comes off, and then two sections of the body come off. And it's pretty much to half an inch distance, the exact width of the 440.
Huh.
And you can raise it off the mounts, and you bring it straight out the front. I mean, it barely clears. Like, it's a form fit to the thing. Now, when they built it, it was on the Dodge frame. Like, the bare frame and motor got shipped to Winnebago by Dodge, and then Winnebago builds the Winnebago on it. So there wasn't much of a thought about changing the motor, which is the case in most of these Class A, like the flat front RVs. They don't think you're going to be changing the motor. And Chevy, whoever, the motor's on the frame, and that's the end of that. They build everything around it. They kind of seal it in. But that's how it came out. And the 6-liter going in was much easier because it was like 6 inches narrower than the 440 was.
Does when you pulled the 440 out, how is it moving? Is there did a winch fit in there?
You just an engine hoist. You had to have it right on it. Like it was like this, and it came out. There wasn't any swing or anything.
Hmm.
Because I was thinking like, oh, we're going to drop it out the bottom, like pull the axle out and stuff. And then we figured out that no, they actually did give you some service provision.
Huh.
But I don't know if all motorhomes had that. I remember when Roadkill had their motorhome, they just sawzalled like the whole corner out the thing to get the 440 out of it. Because they were actually using the 440.
Oh, Eric Pedersen's in there. Oh, Nick actually gave a super chat. Well, thanks. You gave half of it back to yourself, I guess. I'll get to you, Nick.
Magnum got him in his chair.
Maybe. TST says, also love both channels. Keep up the good work. Thank you. And thank you for your donation, TST 1740. Laramere Films. Thank you for your donation. Sorry I aggravated you last show with besides Toyota Corolla. Oh, yeah. Okay. It was a question like I need a daily, but I don't want a Toyota Corolla. So I was really stretching it there.
Tercel.
Yeah, Tercel.
Congratulations, you're getting a Camry.
You're going to love that Camry after a Tercel. I meant to acknowledge the obvious answer, not trash it. Please accept my $5 penance. Accepted graciously, sir. Thank you. I think he wanted like a fun daily, and I said, just get a manual version of whatever everyday car you want, and that'll be fun.
Yeah, they make that fancy Corolla.
Yeah, the one with the
I don't know what it is.
2ZZ engine, the Lotus engine.
It has like a body kit on it.
I'm
assuming a stick shift for the excitement.
It revs to $8,000, so it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
Also requires 91. So.
Oh, that was in the old Celicas and stuff, like the GTS Celicas.
Yeah, yeah, like the last version of.
I just had a Vibe in one of those motors in it.
Yeah,
the Vibe GT.
How was that?
The guy was like, "Watch out, it's quick." I think I drove at 6 speed. I was like, I don't need to experience this.
It's 190 horsepower. It's like, it's a little bit extra. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought about getting the Matrix version of that one. It's 11.5 or 11 or somewhere between 11.5 or 12 to 1 compression to get some pop out of that engine without a forced induction.
Yeah.
They're a nice little utilitarian car, but I don't know why you would get the performance version of it. It's also in that sort of mid-2000s hard plastic everybody had it, not a whole lot of soft touch. I mean, one of those may end up to be my next camera car. It depends what I want to do with my Subaru. Once I hit 200,000, do I give the car to you and say, hey, just do the heads again?
Do the old Subaru service.
Yeah. Or do I get something else? Because the only complaint I have with a second-gen Forester is the gas mileage. And it's just a consequence of all-time all-wheel drive. So those vibes are actually,
some of them are all-wheel drive, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, some of them are. I don't know if this, the fast one is. But I know some of the vibes and the Matrices are all-wheel drive.
What did the guy bring the Vibe GT in for?
Inspection.
Oh, okay. Careful, it's fast.
I was like, yeah.
Yeah. Dad clicked. Dad swiped. After Dark 3, thank you for your donation. BOP sedans are consistently dirt cheap. I don't know what that is.
The non-Chevy Buick Old Pontiac.
Oh.
Just, your generic just sedan.
Oh.
Yeah, but I've seen some that are actually like, at least in the local, everything on our local Craigslist is out of control.
Yeah.
Like if you want something before 1980, it's like $8,000.
Ew.
Like everything. That's why I have that Impala.
Yeah.
Is because it was cheap. Like I'm not even in love with it. I don't know if I like it or not, but it was a cheap classic car.
Yeah.
And I was going to sell it, and I looked, and I cannot get another classic car for $2,000 in this area. At all. Like, there wasn't a thing on there that wasn't in the woods, like a tree growing through it.
Yeah.
I could not find another running driving car, maybe for 1980 for $2,000 in this area of Pennsylvania.
So what's your plan going to be with the Impala?
I'm towing it to the body shop tomorrow. I did some shady dealings, and I got the one body shop that I know to paint it.
Okay.
In exchange for some manual labor on my part.
Yeah.
So he's going to de-rust it.
Okay.
It's actually not rusty. The car looks like garbage because that paint job it's on it.
Yeah.
That's the only other reason I bought it was it's not rusty at all.
Nice.
It has a few spots on the whole body, but it's not. Yeah. For a classic car in Pennsylvania, it's rust-free.
Yeah,
as far as Pennsylvania cars go.
Yeah.
So he's going to fix those and paint it. And then once it doesn't look atrocious like it looks, so I just don't vomit when I look at it, then I'll try driving it and determine if I like the car or not.
Okay.
But at least then it's painted and someone else will actually buy it.
Yeah.
Because for those that don't know, I bought a 64 Impala that was originally teal or white. I'm not sure. I keep finding different spots. But it has teal interior, which is fine, except someone painted it red.
Ah, resale red.
So picture what a car looks like with a 60s teal vinyl interior and then red paint.
What color are you choosing?
White.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah. It's also probably the cheapest paint color.
Oh, didn't know that.
I would assume it is. For some reason, paint colors are different prices. I know that because I know the dark metallic blues are like the most expensive color.
Like the Ford, yeah. Guts Delago, no question, but thank you for the donation. And also thank you for it's a cute pug avatar there. And you donated again after that. Thank you so much. Limited time Roman. There's Nick. Recent report states that the 5 most stolen cars in New Jersey are Nissan Altima, Dodge Caravan, Ford pickup. It's not specific.
It's F-150.
No.
Oh no, it might be the diesel ones.
Really?
Like Power Stroke. Diesel Bros.
Honda Accord and Honda Civic. Theories on reason why. Well, I can tell you why it's a Nissan Altima, Honda Accord, and Honda Civic. That's just numbers. They're just numerous cars.
Yeah, Altimas are to part them out. Because it's like no one wants an Altima, but there's a lot of them around that you just acquire an Altima. And then Hondas are always the most stolen.
Yeah. I
thought Integras were still like the most stolen vehicle.
There was one on the smoking tire, and Matt's first question was, how many times has this been stolen? And the guy just raises up one hand with all 5 fingers. 5 times.
They stole 5 or 6 of them in one night in Whitehall.
Wow.
The cops told me. And one was near my shop in Catasauqua. But it was all Integras. Like they stole, but then one of the guys, I'm assuming it was multiple. I don't think it was the same guy who's been pretty good or busy at least. But he went into a chase and they caught him.
I think I was talking to some guy. It might have been David Coletti, who's he's an officer in Baltimore. He said that Hondas in like the 90s and maybe even pushing into the 2000s, there were only so many key combinations. But the tumblers were really easy. Like you could get, if you got like some sort of like dealer key or something like that. I don't know. I'm speaking out of my ass right here. But like one key could, odds are you had like a 1 in 20 chance that your key would open.
So yeah, if you got like 20 keys, like you're gonna get one car or the other, basically.
Yeah,
more than likely.
Dodge Caravan. Why they're stealing those?
Probably just parts, just available. That's the only thing I think was parting them out. Because there's a billion Caravans too.
Yeah, I'm starting to not see them around here.
No, they're all rusting out.
Yeah, like
they rust really bad. And not like one spot, like everywhere just goes at once. And then that's the end of that. Yeah, you don't see any of the boxy ones at all.
Oh, like, yeah.
When I see one, I'm shocked. I used to see like every 3 cars was, a boxy Caravan.
Yeah.
And now all the roundy ones are gone too.
There's one parked down the street and like, when I see Caravans, I'm thinking that thing is on its way to the junkyard. Like this, whoever owns it is going to be the last owner.
Yeah, now all you see are those new, like aggressive looking ones, like the flat front, the big Dodge.
Yeah.
Like bumper on them. You don't see anything else. Plus, for some reason, Chrysler wants you to buy Pacificas instead of Caravans. like they're pushing the Pacifica.
Huh.
Because I'm pretty sure they discontinued everything but the actual Caravan. There's no Town and Country.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no
that was like the old high-end version.
Yeah, there's no, well, it used to be a Voyager, Caravan, and Town and Country. Now there's just a Caravan, but there's no Grand either.
It's weird that the Cherokee is still Grand Cherokee, but there's no Cherokee anymore.
No, they made the Cherokee again now.
They did?
Yeah, a few years ago.
Really?
It was just the Liberty. It was always...
Oh, but that's
It was always the Liberty, but no, but they actually called it the Cherokee again. Kind of like how Ford... Yeah, it's just a Liberty. The Liberty was always a Cherokee. They just changed the name. You know, like it was meant to replace the Cherokee. They finally caught on. They're just like, people like that name better.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like
post 9/11, so everything was freedom. And...
Well, kind of like, Ford briefly changed the name of the Taurus to the 500. And they're like, oh, that did...
Oh, yeah, like, that's right.
Like, well, that didn't work, so now it's Taurus again.
Yeah. Eric Pedersen. Hello, Eric. How's the snow out there? It's dumping here. Where are you? He lives in San Diego.
It was snowing in Arizona yesterday, the day before. I saw everyone posting.
Oh, okay.
It did snow here, and then it was 60 on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Tuesday, maybe? I think it was Tuesday.
Something like that.
And then it all went away. No, it was Thursday.
When I was hiking, when I was down in the valley driving up to Peters Mountain, there was nothing there. And then I hiked up the mountain, and the snow was all there. So I guess there was enough of an elevation change. I didn't feel any cooler today.
If there's pile of it standing around, but now it's raining, so I think it's all going to go away again this weekend.
That's true. I really wanted to ski this week. Have one more.
It'll probably snow again.
Okay. If it gets down cold enough, I guess they can make snow. I haven't checked Blue Mountain. That's all I really wanted to go because the biggest mountain, and it's right there for East Coast and for Pennsylvania. You go up to Killington, they're bigger. Before I peace out next Friday. Sean Brewer says, older Porsche Boxsters are a dime a dozen in California. And I found an LS swap kit for him. But yeah, it goes in the back. Thoughts? I'm interested, and my wife isn't.
They aren't even in the back. They're in the middle on them.
Really?
Yeah, because I think its boxes still have a trunk, too.
Oh, so it's all MR2-y.
Well, no, it's really in the middle on them. I got into a heated discussion about this with someone. That if it's not a 911, it's not a Porsche. Like, if it's not a... I don't know what all the model numbers are, but if it's not rear engine and two-door, it's not a Porsche.
Like the Panamera? That's a sedan.
Well, Cayennes, you'll notice, are like pretty worthless.
Tell that to Monica Harrison, but yeah.
Oh no, like I'm seeing them in trailer parks around here. So like they're Cayennes. Really. The
prices
SUVs.
Oh,
944s are the front engine ones.
Yeah, those are the Miatas of the Porsche world.
Yeah, but yet if you look at like an 80s 911, it's still like $40,000-$50,000.
Oh yeah.
So I mean that should convince you. Yeah, I think I've seen Boxsters for like $8,000 around here and stuff.
Oh yeah, you drive them and it's like I would rather have an S2000. I would honestly rather have a Miata over Boxster.
My friend made a point where he's like, look, he said if you're driving a Boxster and you're trying to get girls, like it's a Porsche. Yeah, you're like the next light you're gonna make eye contact with a guy and you're gonna be shamed because you're driving a Boxster.
They were blobby and ugly when they came out, and they're blobbier and uglier now through retrospect. Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have changed the title of this to like Winnebago questions. And here's one. Alex90 says, any plans for the original 440 for the Winnebago? Do you still have it? Or is it still at the shop?
No, Corey has it.
Okay.
It's tarped in his yard.
Oh.
So no plans for it at the moment. I mean, we didn't scrap it or anything. It's sitting there. That and the transmission. Just don't really have a. He said he might put it in if he gets like he's constantly buying like older Mopar generic
like 60s cars.
No, he buys like Coronets and stuff like that. Okay. And so he's like, maybe he gets one of them, we'll put it in just so it's a big block. But it's not anything.
How much would he sell it for? Because if
he doesn't really sell things.
Oh. I'd buy it off of him, and all I'd do is clean it. I'd like super clean it. I'd take a week and make that thing shine. Like, here it is. There's a Mopar 440. Motorhome Mopar 440. I'll find out what everybody else is selling them for, what they're selling for. I'll charge $100 less than that, and I'll sell it.
Yeah. They're not big on selling things.
Yeah, if I see him, I'll float the question. I got an engine stand and nothing to put on it. So, Sean Brewer says, Ella swap Nick's Stang. You know, funny you mention that. Nick has the New Edge Mustang, the HN95.
They make kits for that.
Yeah, they do. And Happel's building one. Although his isn't the New Edge. It's 93.
SN95.
An SN95 and a New Edge are the same car.
Yeah, it's an SN95.
It's just a facelift, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing changed. The interior is
I think most of the Fox stuff even interchanges with them.
Really?
Like suspension parts and all that. Like mechanicals, I think everything still switches.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so
I think there's a track width of the rears are slightly different, but I think you can still put them in the cars, like a slight width difference.
It's negligible. I mean, it's just 488s, and you can just put stuff in them. I mean, and there's enough room in those wheel wells to make up any sort of negligible difference that you'd have.
Well, yeah, that car he's building, the shocks moved in so you can tub it. But he said he's not going to because he can still fit a 275 tire in the wheel well. It's like more than enough for what he's doing.
Yeah. I was supposed to drive it this week, but it isn't. He didn't. He's been doing a million other things. So, yeah. I still have to get Happel on the podcast. I have to go to him, really.
But now he's doing his, too, so you can tag team it.
Oh, sweet. Nice. Eric Pedersen, again. Hello, Eric. Do you want to go to the Comedy Store before or after New Zealand? You can text me when we figure it out. Well, I wanted to go to it before. I figure I'm just going to get there on Friday. And, I mean, you're welcome to just stay in my hotel room if you want. I was just going to go to the Comedy Store that night. And I don't care who's playing because I've never been there. I just want to go there to go. And I'll stay until I get tired. And then we'll get a lift back to Culver City. And then I have to find something to do on Saturday because checkout is like, I think the latest I can check out is 2 p.m. But my flight isn't until 10 p.m. So I got to find something to do in LA for a day. So I'll probably go to the Malibu Kitchen and just hang out there and just see
something to do in LA.
Yeah. I'll see if I can hang out with my friend Aubriana. She's in the practical effects industry. She built do you remember the movie Big with Tom Hanks?
Yeah.
And there was the Zoltar machine.
Yeah.
But she made that, but made it a raptor instead of a human inside it.
That's the fortune teller thing.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
She made Zoltar Raptor. And you could like get in it and talk, and the jaw was articulating, so it would talk, and you could she just went to Burning Man and it just dispensed hard candy to people. So that was her thing on her spare time. She was also in the music video for one of the Panic at the Disco music videos. Guts Delago again. Sorry for the spam. Hey, no problem. New to Super Chats. Well, thank you for your 2 previous dollars. What are your thoughts on LS swapped VW Beetles? Like a Baja around 1960 to 1973. Well, you saw one.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make them into wheelie machines. I think it's kind of neat when you have the engine facing backwards and just hanging out the back. I mean, it looks neat. It's unstable as hell unless you're putting it on this like wide track fat tires, but still, it's still a short wheelbase. I think something like a 4.8 with just a stock tune. I mean, you don't need anything. It's a freaking bug.
I looked into getting air-cooled bugs years ago, but I can't physically fit in them. My feet are too big, and like the pedal box on like that wide.
They are tiny.
So you hit 2 pedals at once.
I did that in my AW11.
So I can't physically drive them. But like if you have a bug with like 120 horsepower, they run 12 seconds, quarter mile.
Wow.
So yeah, it doesn't take much power to move in them. So
the people who just put like Subaru 2.2 liters in them.
Yeah, like I had people ask me about them. I was like, yeah, put a stock Subaru engine in them. Yeah. They'll fly. If you like a Legacy GT, like a twin cam, like EJ25 or whatever, like it will move. You won't need a turbo. It's always like, oh, I'm going to turbo. Like, no, try that first.
Yeah. Then come back.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think, that's probably the answer. I think a Subaru engine is probably a much better solution.
Yeah.
Because it's roughly the same size. They make kits for it. And it's roughly the same size motor, but it's going to make double the power, at least. If you get a single cam 2.2 of like a 90-something Impreza, it's going to double what the bug motor makes.
Yeah. And now you have EFI. Now you have
water cooling.
Yeah.
Oil pressure. All these amazing things.
You have
the parts are still nothing.
Right.
So that's probably the solution that I would do.
Yeah.
It'll still have a hood.
Right.
Like you'll be able to close the engine bay and all that. Well, actually, like years ago, Mighty Car Mods put a WRX motor in one, and it was terrifying.
Really? Was that I have to go back and watch that. Was that like the something like the history of the sleeper, or they did like a gigantic like hour-long?
Yeah, I think it was just one episode.
Yeah.
And I think it ran like 10s or something.
Shit.
And a stock bug, and they parted it out because they were terrified of it.
Yeah. The first car that I was in that made me scared was the 2J swapped Impreza, like an RS from like 98. That thing felt like it was gonna leave the road. Like this does not, there's no way this is safe at any point.
Corey's 2JZ Coronet is an experience.
It's a larger vehicle though.
Not really, it's the size of my Chevelle.
Really?
It's a midsize.
Oh boy.
And it's a bench seat with no seat belts. And
all right, that changes things.
The seat moves.
Why does it move?
Because the track's broken.
Okay.
So when you get on it, like the seat moves back. But only one track's broken, so the seat goes crooked.
Can you at least put a pin in it?
I think it's on the passenger side, so he's not real concerned about it. But that ran 1079 the quarter.
Oh my goodness.
So I mean, it
was no belts.
No.
No.
So that should have 600 or 700 horsepower. And a 66 or 67 Tempest. Well, I remember when you rode my Chevelle, you were kind of horrified. That only has 300 horsepower.
Yeah. Well, you were doing burnouts and smoke was coming inside the car.
Yeah, but it's a general acceleration of the fact the thing feels like it has no structural integrity.
That's true.
So picture that with twice the horsepower, and that's that car.
Question from the regular chat here. Anybody remember I don't know what he's talking about. Sterling or Sterling kit cars. They used to be made on VW chassis, but they have a tube frame kit now. Suggest Subaru Flat 4 could be fun. I guess those weird when you have tube frame something, you're cutting most of the Volkswagen out because you have that bug frame in your shop. There's nothing to it.
Yeah, the whole structure is in that tunnel, which would be like the trans tunnel, but it's not. It looks like it's a transmission tunnel. Yeah. That's like the backbone of the car. That's why when they made those old dune buggies, they can just rip the body off.
Yeah.
And it doesn't fold in half, is that trans tunnel actually gives you all the strength of the car. I work on a VW Vanagon Westphalia camper.
Yeah.
One of my customers. And it blew head gaskets, which I guess is a thing with them. Like they're worse. Apparently it's just that design don't like head gaskets, like Boxer 4-cylinders, not just Subarus, because apparently these Vanagon engines are worse for blowing head gaskets than Subarus are.
So like Type 4 or something. I don't know my Volkswagen. Well, Steph would know.
It still has an air-cooled motor design in it.
Yeah.
And Volkswagen just half-assed water cooling onto it.
Oh.
But I mean, it sounds like a bug motor. It looks like a bug motor. It rattles and everything like a freaking bug motor. But it just has these water cooling jackets to go around the cylinders.
I wonder, do you think they just put a jacket around the fins?
It looks like that's roughly what they did. But when the head gaskets blew, we were kind of like weighing out like putting a Subaru engine in it.
Yeah.
And this Go Westy company in California makes like a bolt-in kit.
Is that for the 2.2?
Yeah, I think they do recommend the 2.2 Impreza single cam motor, but they give you like the cross member, the hoses, everything direct bolt-in.
Nice.
The only thing you're on your own for is engine management.
Okay, well, good luck finding that for a Subaru. You know,
yeah, well,
yeah.
I think people just use like micro squirt or mega squirt or something for it. So yeah, that really is probably the way to go. But we ended up actually doing head gaskets on the thing.
The water boxer. I thought the Vanagon was a regular 1.8 Mark II motor, I guess.
Some know the Euro. Well,
I'm reading comments here about that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It was a 2-liter motor. I think it was like a 90. It was one of the real like late ones, like a 91, 92. But then, those Eurovan things. Those could have like a 2-liter or a VR6 in them or something. I haven't touched one of them yet to know how they work.
Okay.
But yeah, this thing has the motor in the ass, the pancake engine.
What's a pancake engine?
The flat 4.
Oh, okay.
The really odd thing is for head gaskets, so it has 2 copper rings that go on top the cylinders, which come out. Like you can pull the cylinders off the motor. Because it's like a bug engine yet. So
they're individual blocks?
There's like 2 there's a tube. And that's the cylinder. The piston goes inside that. And on the end is a copper ring. That's the head gasket.
Okay.
Then there's just this void of coolant. This is why you can tell it was like an afterthought of like where the fins used to be. So those 2 tubes just hang out in this big bath of antifreeze.
Okay.
And then there's actually a rubber gasket that I thought was valve cover gasket on the head gasket kit that go around the outside of that water jacket that keeps the water from like leaking externally.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no flat actual gasket. There's those.
There's no no thought for thermodynamics or flow. How it's going to flow around there. Just kind of
it just submerges the cylinders in coolant. Somehow I think it goes to the block to go from head to head or something. It's kind of you can tell it's just kind of like they were just like throwing stuff together to make it work. But apparently they blow head gaskets like every 2 years. Regardless of mileage. Gosh. They're just like, you just have to do head gaskets every like 2 years.
Well, you got to be period correct, I guess. Rubber duck. Ooh, $10 Canadian. Thank you very much. We will use your money very, very responsibly, or maybe we'll take this and thank Justin for coming out if you want to go to the brick house after this.
Or Coke and hookers.
The guy from the Firebox channel has an awesome VW Vanagon 5-speed with a Subaru engine swapped in. Yeah, I guess what that's what they're talking
apparently
about.
The Subaru engine is the way you generally make those things, like not a pile of garbage.
Yeah. I saw at a car show, and it's in one of my RCR goes to a car show, the Corvair van.
Yes.
That they made.
And the truck. They made a truck too.
Oh, it's like a step side?
Yeah. Oh, and the side folds down. The side of the truck folds down, which is one of the best ideas I think anyone's ever had. And then no other truck's ever done it. Yeah. I don't get it.
Yeah. It was like, I don't think the entires, it wasn't like a stake bed.
No, like the bed just folded down on the side and like a little door. It was like a ramp.
Nice.
Yeah. That was the neat era where every American manufacturer decided they need to make flat-nosed vans suddenly in the 60s, which I'm not sure if
Ford did it.
Yeah, Dodge and Chevy all did it. I'm not sure if it had anything to actually coincide with like the Volkswagen van, or it was just they decided they wanted to do it suddenly.
Yeah.
Like one of them came out with it and everyone else had to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Corvair was the weird one because it still used the Corvair engine in the ass.
How are you going to get air to it? And it had the fan attached to it.
Yeah, it's still a regular Corvair engine.
But you don't have like the cooling, like the heat dispersal things. Like I saw it as kind of like on the side, and I'm like,
yeah, they get air somehow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't think air cooled engines in general are actually that susceptible to overheating as you'd expect.
Really?
I think they kind of design them that they're like, this is going to get hot, so like the tolerances are normally pretty loose in them and stuff.
You know,
which is why they're all rattly.
I had that when I had my Suzuki GS500. Like it was a sport bike, but it was still air cooled twin. And I remember, like, the thing, if I was on a long road trip, and by long I mean like Pittsburgh, I'd go through like half a quart of oil there and back.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, yeah, they just consume oil.
Yeah, they have loose ring gaps. Yeah, is what it is.
Just blow by until you're out on the highway, I guess, for a while, and then it gets, or maybe they close up if you're sitting in traffic.
Well, it's probably so if it gets hot, it won't just hot seize the bore.
Oh, okay.
The piston won't seize in the bore.
Okay. It was just they were just said, yeah, if you're going on a trip, take a quart of oil. Check it every third fill up, and like, it went down like that much. Pour some more in.
I would love to have one of those flat nose vans, like especially a Corvair one, but they're all death traps.
Really?
Well, I think your feet are the crumple zone.
Oh, right.
Which is generally why they stopped making them. I'm sure they drive terrible too.
The guy with that one emailed me about it, and I'm like, when I drove that K van, that was a mind fuck. How, like, your wheels are here.
Well, that's how that Vanagon is. I drive it. Yeah, you're sitting on the wheel, so you turn. You're like, whoa, you're flying. And then
it feels like it's going to topple over at any time. The wheels are way inborn.
It has the most vague shifter because it has this 3-foot long shifter. It's manual, and you just vaguely throw it at whatever gear you want to be in, and it goes in
without resistance.
No, but like first gear is in like this big of an area, and like second gear is in like this big of an area. Like if you just jam it roughly upper right, it's going in third gear. Like you used to be like, you're sort of wiggling it through things, and it goes in every time. Oh, but you're like, is it in gear? Oh, I get to move the shifter like this. Oh, it's in gear.
Tear my hole up, Daddy, says some clandestine something DM. My throat's getting sore. And someone else said, stretch my throat. Brony Inspector says I had a 63 Econoline. It was bad.
Yeah, Dodge had the A100 was their version. The Dodge and the Ford look very similar.
Yeah.
The Corvair is the goofy looking one
because it's no grill.
Because it's rear engine and everything. The Dodge and the Ford's like the motor just sits in between the driver and passenger in both of them.
Yeah, and they just use the same Power Master or Thrift Master. There were 200 cubic inch ones that was in the LTD or whatever that you have in your first Lemons Rally.
Yeah, but I think you get V8s in them too.
Oh,
and with the Dodge ones, you could get V8s in them because I've seen factory V8 ones. The Ford, I know people put them in. I don't know if they ever came with them or not. They probably did. They probably came with a 289 or something.
Okay. Digital Stealth has a question. I got to get some more water. It's a Ford question, but you probably mess with them. It's this one right here, about 302s or something.
I am getting a 71 Ford Torino with a 302 5-liter V8. Think it'll be good for a turbo, a super, or just leave it be. It is a 2-barrel if you're wondering. P.S. When I get it, I'll let you know to review it. Well, I won't review it. You know. It really depends on what you want to do with it. This is a good thing that Matt Happel does, and I agree with, is you have to set goals and what you want to do with the car. You can't just start throwing things on vehicles and suddenly you end up with something that is built differently from one end to the other and the parts don't match. So a stock 2-barrel 302 is not going to be anything to write home about. It probably makes realistically 150 horsepower.
I drove a Plymouth Belvedere that had a 2-barrel on it. It felt like a straight 6.
Yeah.
It goes, but it just goes a speed. It's just you put your foot down more, nothing happens. No, and like literally the first quarter movement of the pedal is what changes your forward momentum.
Yeah.
Anything more than that, there is no difference in the engine sound, and there's no difference in RPM.
That's how my S10 is.
Yeah.
I have a 4-cylinder S10. And yeah, you just give it quarter throttle because anything past that just rattles more. It doesn't go any faster or anything. But, I mean, if you're going for performance, your best bet is just probably put a 302 like HO of a Mustang in it. Or like what you did is like an Explorer engine or whatever.
But it came out. It came out of a '93 T-Bird.
Yeah,
but it was an HO.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
So I mean that may be a better bet because you're probably going to gain 80 horsepower off the bat over what the 70s 302 makes.
Yeah,
and then go from there. I mean, jumping right from 150 horsepower to like throwing turbos and superchargers on it, you're going to have 500 or 600 horsepower. First of all, you're going to kill yourself.
And then second of all, you're going to blow up that Windsor block.
Yeah.
Crack it.
Oh, yeah. Like, I don't know about those, but I know at least the 80s ones, like
500 horsepower.
500 horsepower, the block cracks in half.
Yeah.
Somehow Roadkills has it, which is the most amazing thing.
Right. The one that was in the Rotson?
Yeah. Them of all people haven't cracked it in half. But I mean, it's a pretty solid thing where around 500 wheel horsepower, that block's going to split in half.
Yeah.
I don't think the 351s do it. I think it's just
completely different block. Completely.
Yeah. I think it's just the 302s. But yeah. I would recommend before you go crazy with power adders, build up that engine NA or put a more modern, like put a 351 in it or put a HO 302 in it and see how you like it then. Yeah.
Those aren't roller motors, I don't think. So they don't
that was not. Yeah, they weren't not even all the 80s ones were roller. It was kind of like a phase in.
Oh, okay.
So back in the 70s.
When we're saying roller motors, we mean that the are they lifters? I know what they are because
it's the roller lifter.
Okay.
It's a flat tab versus a roller lifter.
Yeah.
So when your cam comes up, you either have a flat thing that it wears against the bottom of the lifter, or you have a little rolly ball that'll ride over the camshaft.
Mm-hmm.
And domestic manufacturers started going the roller stuff late 80s, early 90s. Their main reason was because it's less wear on the valve train, not necessarily like a horsepower increase.
Right.
It's less wear, and they were pulling a lot of the anti-wear additives out of the oils that were in like in the 50s and 60s that were killing people.
Okay.
Like lead and everything, like lead, zinc, phosphorus, and the oils that were allowed you to run a flat tap and keep it lubricated.
Yeah.
Now it wasn't in the oil anymore, and you started having cam failures and stuff like that. So the roller, you can just get away with general
whatever
garbage oil, and it won't wear the cams out.
Yeah, Engine Masters did one thing where they did a roller versus flat, and they were just saying, look, there's not really
in a performance application, it allows you to run more aggressive ramp rates of the camshaft.
Okay.
So like you can make it climb a steeper wall.
Okay.
Of the cam, and you can change your profile, and then that can give you possibilities that through that you can get more power.
I see.
And usually it helps you rev higher, stuff like that.
Okay.
But there's not like you don't gain performance going from just a flat tap it to a roller, just in friction loss alone. It's nothing.
Right.
It was the same thing when they did the roller rockers. It didn't gain anything.
Yeah. If I could have gone back in time, that added an extra month. Modifying
the hard and push rod nonsense and all that.
Yeah. If I'd known, I would have not done anything, but whatever. Now I know. Now that was some hard war on information getting into my head.
Oh, we had all kind of problems on the AMC motor we built with that too.
Yeah.
But that was just goofy AMC stuff. But putting Chevy roller rockers on it and then push rods out of something and having to make guide plates and everything, it was the same thing.
Yeah. Well, that's the Redeemer. Or the name of my engine, the 302 Redeemer. It's been fine. It's nothing wrong with the engine. We never put a wideband in, so I don't exactly know what the tune is. It was 198 horsepower at the wheels.
Yeah.
Someone in the comments said, yeah, the 5.0s were rated at 210.
Yeah.
In the factory. So.
That's about right. So you would have gained a little bit more. You consider you're probably losing 30% the drivetrain.
Okay.
So you're probably making more than stock.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you think about it.
That's true.
So I can do the math in my head, but let's just say, 30 out of 100. So you're probably losing conservatively 40 or 50 horsepower.
Oh, wow.
So that's probably is like, I would say probably like a 250 horsepower engine.
Oh, that makes me feel better.
It's a stock cam, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where all your power comes from, really.
Okay. I asked Bruce when we were building it, should I go to a different, like, should I go for a little bit bigger cam? And he said, you want to drive this in traffic, right? And I said, yeah. He said, you don't want it.
Yeah, it makes it miserable. The cam on Chevelle is terrible. I have way too big of a camshaft in it.
It's gulping down air at idle.
Yeah, well, I went, of course, when I was stupid younger, I went all the stuff that said not for street use, where it only pulls 9 inches of vacuum, where a normal engine pulls like 20. So it can't run power brakes. It needs a high stall torque converter. It needs gear. It needs headers, or it won't run because it makes no torque like at low RPM. And when I first built it, I had like a 2500 stall torque converter in it, and it would stall at every stoplight you pulled up to. You had to put it neutral.
That sucks.
So I had to put a 3500 stall on it to get it to actually like run like a normal vehicle.
Ooh, someone here says Explorer 5.0 is rated at 215 horsepower. Oh, got an extra 5 if you got an Explorer engine. Lines up.
I mean, with any engine, but especially like all these old American V8s, like all your horsepower is in the cam and the heads. Like the rest of the people, like you put headers and stuff on, it doesn't do anything unless you have heads and cam in it.
That was my favorite episode of Engine Masters, where they're just taking sledgehammers.
Yeah, and then like, it doesn't matter. They had another one where they put manifolds on it. Like it doesn't matter. Like you don't gain anything because the engine's only going to flow, or anything. It's only going to flow as much as its narrowest point. Yeah. So if you have a nice intake carburetor and headers on a motor that is breathing through this much valve lift, from the cam, it's not going to make any power.
Nice. Yeah, that's why. If I would have gone back, like we did all that stuff with the heads, it would have been easier for me just to pull GT40 heads off of something and just put that on. Stock GT40 heads. I know a guy whose name I won't mention who told me of a scam. Him and his buddies came up in high school in like the early 2000s where they went to a junkyard and got like Chinese night vision goggles, and they pulled must have been a dozen GT40 heads off of Explorers, and then just pieced out of this and ran on like a moonless night. They didn't get bit by the cartoon Dobermans that are in junkyards at night. Right, junkyard dogs with chains around, like big chain around their neck as a collar. Spikes. The story that they told me said that there was one, but either they threw it like meat, or they knew the nights that they knew the owner, and the owner lived like in a trailer on the property, and they knew something about the because one of the guys towed Rex in this yard. And they knew enough about the times when the dogs were out and when they weren't. Like it had to do with some sort of like some network TV show. Like the guy watched, he would bring the dogs in. It had like something really specific. Yeah, like dogs probably weren't even vicious anyway. Yeah. That's usually the case. Like, oh, those junkyard dogs, and they just like lick you. Yeah. Yeah, like I know the one, I won't say the name of the junkyard, but the one I go near here, there is a dog, and all it does is sleep. Yeah. Yeah. And it's normally inside anyway. Yep. And I'm like looking at it, this is a fat hunk of. It's a vicious killer. Yeah. Let's see. If you block off this, what is this? Digital sheath, and one guy who's called LS Swap the World. No, I'll ask digital. Oh, digital stealth. Digital sheath. Digital Stealth says, I also have another question. My mother loves our trusty 2002 Saturn SL2. But she seems like she has more power than just 124 horsepower. But she's just stock. Any reason why this is? No, it has 124 horsepower. Like, don't believe people when they say what horsepower vehicles have. That Saturn weighs nothing because it's plastic. And that's the twin cam one. So that thing's probably like pretty. When you're in it, it probably feels fast. Yeah, like my MR2 felt fast, but that was like 109 horsepower. Oh, and it's probably stick shift. Did he say it was? Or he didn't say. But like you said, if you get a car and make a stick shift, it instantly feels twice as fast. Yeah, it was like a generic '90s car or whatever. Yeah. Like if you drive like an automatic like '98 Legacy
and then a manual one, you'll be like, this thing's incredible. This thing has like 300 horsepower, and it's nothing. It could be gearing too, stuff like that.
Did Toyota or any of these like little engines, their manuals, did any of them have lock-up torque converters that you know of? These front-wheel drive things?
In autos, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, most vehicles do.
Like today, or in the 90s?
Probably 80s and 90s, they were phasing them in.
Really? That early? Okay. And that in fifth gear or fourth gear or whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
How do those? This is a dumb question, but how do they work?
There's a clutch inside the torque converter.
Okay. Huh.
And it's applied via hydraulic pressure.
Okay.
So most cars, say it's a 4-speed, you would shift 1, 2, 3, 4 when you're in fourth gear overdrive. Then once it meets whatever criteria, like you're barely on the gas or whatever, it'll apply hydraulic pressure to that circuit and lock the clutch. And now you have a 0 stall torque converter.
Huh.
So it's still not like a manual because you're still losing to the transmission. There's hydraulics and all that. You're still it's not a perfect connection like a manual is really, but it's better.
Huh.
You're not losing, like 500 or 600 RPM to the torque converter.
Yeah, because that's one thing about the Falcon, that the AODs were never lock-up.
Oh, okay.
Even though I have an overdrive, there's still slip. And I don't know if the 4R7W that replaced it was lock-up or not.
Probably.
See,
all the Chevy overdrives were lock-up. Even some of the like the TH350s. Yeah. They made a lock-up one. Huh. Like late 70s, 80s. They had TH350C that had a lock-up torque converter, but it was still a 3-speed. Huh. But all the 200 R4s, 700 R4s, 4L60s, 4L80s, those are all lock-up. Huh. Even the Cavaliers, like where I think Cavaliers were always 3-speeds. I think they ever had a 4-speed auto.
I think the Dodge Neons weren't lock-up.
Yeah. Well, the Chevys are. Yeah, the Cavaliers lock up. Even some of the Chevettes did, but near the end. They put a lockup in the Chevette transmissions.
Wow.
So GM,
I know I'm wowing a lot, but Justin knows so much about GM that I don't.
Maybe GM was like ahead of the field.
I know we make fun. I always make fun of GM at sticking with all outdated technology, but that's pretty darn good. There was a question for you here. Here it is. It is Mimi M.
Kramer, I have a 2005 GMC Yukon XL Denali. I love how they just kept like gluing shit on the back of the names on the GMCs.
Yeah.
What kind of power do you think that I can get through the 4L65 before the transfer case, transmission, or front diff explodes? So the transmission is going to be more of the issue.
The 4L60?
Yeah, it's a 4L65, which is a slightly, it's a 4L60.
Okay.
But it's slightly upgraded. They call it a 4L65.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know the exact horsepower limit, but I mean, in the trucks, you put a turbo on, the trans is done.
I was with Happel at a shop while I had that, the Prime, which I'm wearing, that Evo. While I was driving the Evo, one of the heat shields came off and was scraping on the ground. Luckily, I was almost there, and they let me pull it into the shop and gave me a jack, and I was able to pull this bit of the heat shield off. It was something in front of the cat. Anyway, there was Happel was working on, I don't know what GM big name of Silverado it was, but it had the 4L60, but there was a turbo 5.3 in it. And Matt was just kind of doing his Matt smile. He's like, well, we can do more, but.
Yeah. Stock, they don't blow up. People give them a lot of bad, I don't know. People are really mean to them. They aren't that bad.
Yeah.
If the truck's stock, they don't really blow up unless you abuse them or neglect them.
Right.
I have one in my 94 Yukon. It's an OBD1 4L60. And I have a picture where I towed that one square body I have home with it from New Jersey.
Nice.
Using a 3,000-pound trailer. It was a wood deck trailer.
Do they give you a trans temperature gauge in that truck? Okay.
I have a 2-door Yukon.
Oh.
So I towed a 3,000-pound trailer with a 5,500-pound truck on it from Trenton, and it was fine.
Okay.
So I mean, it's not like, oh my god, every 450 blows up every 2 months or something like that. A lot of guys, they never blow up, but they don't like turbos and stuff on them.
Oh, okay.
So I mean, depending on how you're going to gain the horsepower, that would be the first thing to go. The transfer case and diff, it's not a horsepower that blows them; it's shock. So they'll never blow up under certain circumstances. But say you put like slicks on all 4 wheels and launch it,
yeah,
that's when the transfer case is going to break.
Did you see the pictures of the demons dumping their gears out of it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you have the problem with drivetrain components like that. The front diff, surprisingly, on all the Chevy trucks have independent front ends. It's the same diff in all the trucks. Half ton, 3/4 ton, 1 ton. They don't change the diff.
Huh.
And they don't really break. I did change one, but I think it was a freak accident.
Did they in even the full ton ones? Is it only like 30% going to the front, or do they?
Well, it's 4-wheel drive, so if you walk in 4-wheel, it's manual
50/50.
Yeah, but they don't really break. But what will break them is shock. Like sudden jerks, going or not going, or one or the other, is what breaks things like differentials and stuff.
I see. Huh. Classic American corner. Don't know what that means. I got 2 stock trucks with a 60E. Both have a hard as hell 1-2 shift.
Yeah, there's a GM thing about that. I forget what the reason is. There's actually a technical service bulletin about that. That's all I know. I don't remember what it's for or anything, but I've had people complain about it, and you look it up, and it's just they're supposed to. It's better to have a hard shift than a soft shift.
Oh, yeah?
That's why people put shift kits in transmissions.
Yeah.
It's physically less strain on the transmission to hit each gear, nothing all on. But they don't do that in cars because then you snap your neck with every shift.
Yeah. They
make it so it slowly fades in and automatic, and that slipping is what burns up transmissions. That's why in heavy duty applications they put the shift kits in. Remember before we brought the Winnebago to you, Corey put a shift kit in it.
Okay.
Because it was shifting real lazy. And then we put that, and then it shifted pretty good. But once the shift kit was in, it increased all the the quickness and the pressure and the shifting.
I remember when Bart from Bart's Transmission rebuilt the AOD that's in the Falcon. He asked, I have a shift kit right here. You want me to put it in? And I said, no, I don't think I'm really going to need it for this. He might have put it in there anyway, because it's shifting firm going through. And he didn't, excuse me, he didn't rebuild it. He just took it apart. I was there when he did it. He's done this so many times. He just dumps everything out of this transmission on the table, letting the oil go into this bucket as it drains out. I'm like, I want to say, you know how to put this back together?
I have a friend who rebuilds transmissions. I brought 2 transmissions to him.
Yeah.
And right then he was like, well, see what's wrong with it. And he just empties it all out on the table, parts. He's mixing up. I brought him 2 transmissions at once, a Chevy and a Dodge. And he blew them both apart on the table, and the parts are just intermingling and stuff. And I was saying to him, I was like, yeah, you know where this, 1,000 pieces just came out of this thing. He's like, yeah, it's fine.
But yeah, he said, he just looked at the clutch packs and said, it's fine. So when he put it back together, I guess I don't know if the act of putting it back together, I've driven a whole bunch of Fords now. And
he probably just changed some settings. Usually they have to pre-tension the bands and stuff in them. A certain amount of spring tension to put on things and shims and stuff. He probably just knows what will make it not blow up.
Okay.
Certain settings, when he blows transmissions, even though it may call from this from the factory, it's if you tighten this another turn, it's going to make it shift harder, but it's going to be 50% chance not to puke its bottom out while you're driving. Things like that.
Okay. My daily upload says I have a shift kit in my old TH350, and it would squeal the tires on the 1-2 shift. Yeah, Falcon will squeal second if I'm on it.
My Chevelle used to before I changed the gears. When I had the highway gears in, I think it had 308s in it or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's
just driving around normally.
Yeah,
it would chirp it just shifting, quarter throttle. It would chirp. Now I put 373s in it, and the 3500. It doesn't do that anymore.
Colby Nudstanov says, I have a 1980 Corvette with a 350 Chevy in it. Yeah, that's like the last 2 years of it. I'm about to replace it. I already ordered a new 350 horsepower crate engine, which I'm guessing is another 350. Should I turbo my old 350 before I take it out with the eBay turbos, new automatic transmission? Well, you have... When did they start doing fuel injection on Corvettes?
81. 80 or 81.
Okay.
I think 81. But it was Crossfire.
You showed me, yeah, that thing.
Which is the strangest fuel injection I think GM's ever done. It's aside from the first shit in the 50s.
Yeah, the mechanical ones, and it also existed in the 63 Stingray.
Yeah, but the Crossfire is interesting. I doubt he has that because it runs, so he probably doesn't have Crossfire. I don't think there's many Crossfire cars that actually operate.
I think you should just pull that 350 out. Just say this was out of a Corvette, and sell it to some other Corvette guy who needs a Corvette engine and is going to pay for that.
It's the same as a
truck,
the 1980s pickup truck engine.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's going to cost you like, I know you're going to eBay and like, oh, the turbo's $180. It's going to cost you like $1,000 to turbo this thing, and then it probably won't blow up because that doesn't really happen. Honestly, if the only way it's going to blow is if it's not tuned right.
I see.
You know, it's like a drastic tuning issue. So I mean, you're just going to spend $1,000, not going to blow up, and you're going to be like, cool. Now what? And you're going to take it all off, put your new motor in.
Yeah.
And I tell you right now, it's not going to make what the new motor is going to make because even though my truck runs like trash, it's probably not far from what it's going to make. And it made about 300 wheel.
Yeah.
So, and because Roadkill again did the same, well, Roadkill Garage, they put a blower on a stock 350, like a Vortex supercharger.
Yeah. And
it made like 300 the wheels.
So, with your all motor one, it's just going to be just
if it makes 350 all motor,
yeah,
you're better off and just not waste the $1,000 it's going to take to do with that.
Buy some, here's my toy car, here's my real car. Or just buy some really nice polish, like the expensive stuff that you normally wouldn't buy for yourself.
Yeah, you're gonna spend $1,000 and like really annoy yourself putting it together.
It's got a VTEC motor in it. Oh, I should be really using this. It's easier to look at. What's your opinions on the 1969 Dodge Supercharger from Mopar? Like supercharger, like a forced induction?
It was just a SEMA car. I know what he's talking about.
Okay.
It's a SEMA car they built that has their crate motor in it. The Hellcat crate motor.
Okay, the 1,000 horsepower. Like, I've never been to SEMA, and I'm already kind of over it.
I'm not into those resto mods. Like, it's not my thing.
I saw the ugliest shit.
You know, like old car with big wheels and LED headlights. I like the old cars look old. Like, I'm cool with them having modern engines, but I like them to look like they're supposed to look.
Yeah.
Like I can look at it and think, okay, cool, that looks neat, but I wouldn't want that car.
Even some people gave me crap about the bigger wheels on my.
But but I'm okay with that. Like I'll do it on my car because it's still dog dish hubcaps. Bigger. It still looks this. You know what I mean? You didn't put 22-inch Boyd Coddington like billet wheels on it.
Yeah.
That
I saw this like dog shit Chevelle on Craigslist, and we probably saw the same one. And I think the asking price was $15,000, and it was like a primer body, but it had the Foose wheels on it. Yeah, yeah. Well, the knockoff Foose.
With all these resto mods now, is they try and make them look like tuners. So it's like a '60s muscle car. They try and make it look like
they drop it, they lower it.
Yeah, and they put like tuner wheels on them, like modern looking wheels.
Yeah,
and they'll change all the lights to LED lights, where it looks like it's a new car. And I don't know. I mean, it looks neat, but I don't really like it.
It bugs me when I look inside and I see like Sparco seats.
Yeah,
and like a center console.
Yeah, I don't
know. And some of them go so far as to just what were you talking about the one time we were at that one car show about the 90s thing for all like the Ford vans from like the 20s and then slightly post-war year, like late 40s.
The panel wagons.
Yeah, where you completely smooth out the entire interior.
Yeah, that was the 90s hot rod thing. Like every hot rod built, or street rod, as they called them, in the 90s. Just like everything's all smooth. Like the whole interior is like a swooping like leather, like, billet wheel.
Lockhart shifter coming out of there.
Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. A lot of the guys that build street rods and stuff, just like they do the same thing as everyone else. It's like a build your own street rod kit.
Yeah, and it's like that same philosophy is still today in some of these Winga-Dinga cars. They have your LEDs. Like the only thing that changed now is now LEDs are really cheap, so they're everywhere and they're inside the engine bay.
Yeah,
yeah.
No, I actually like the cars looking like they're from the whatever. Like, I mean, I'm only mess with 60s and 70s cars.
Yeah.
But I like them to look like they're still 70s.
Yeah.
I like when they'll take a modern engine like an LS and they dress it up to look old. They do that a lot.
The only thing I don't like is when I see an LS and a carburetor on it. I know
but I mean when they actually put like a round air cleaner on them, it's still injected, but they put a throttle body, vertical throttle body on it.
Oh, you can get those.
Oh yeah, and they put the small Chevy valve covers like over the LS valve covers, put the coils inside of them.
Oh,
they look kind of goofy. So, I mean, if you look at it and you know what you're looking at, you're like, oh, it's an LS.
Do they move the alternator?
I've seen guys do different belt kits and stuff too.
Yeah,
they get more or less complex with it, but I like when guys do that. If I would put an LS on, that's probably what I would do. Yeah,
Matt said like the only thing he doesn't like, and it's just a weird aesthetic about LS, is how the alternator sits all the way up into stage right
on the
over there.
Well, I have a kit for the one in my garage that moves them to like the traditional Chevy locations.
Yeah.
Where like the alternator's on the one side and the power steering wheel's on the other.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're lower.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only a kit on eBay, like a brat kit for like $150.
Really? Huh.
But everyone is just super cheap and uses the junkyard brackets, and it's stuck where it was in a Silverado.
Okay.
In a Silverado, you have 30 inches of hood clearance. They just put everything up in the air.
Yeah.
Because they can. Yeah, there is aftermarket options.
Alex90 says, what are your views on the Ford Coyote motor? And this is always the big question, LS versus Coyote. They both make great power. LS is just plain old cheaper. And it's both
cheaper and smaller.
Yeah, because it's not overhead cam. I think a Coyote motor is... Look, you can both reach the same goals on either one. It's just the LS has a smaller price point. And like you said, for less dimensions.
It is not in the LS has a smaller price point. The LS has a drastically smaller price point.
You're right.
Like a Coyote engine's like 10 grand.
Really? I thought they were 5.
No.
And okay.
Like, even an LS crate motor, you can probably get some that are that much.
Wait, I'm gonna go get Blue Point. I got a Summit catalog over here in the bathroom. Let me just see what an LS is.
I'm gonna guess like high end 5.
Okay.
Like brand new LS GM performance, like LS2. I'm gonna guess is probably 5,000.
You can tell I didn't even open this thing yet. I get them monthly, and they turn into kindling for campfires.
I just look online, like I just throw them right in the trash. I'm like, I just go on the internet and get this information. Like I don't need to stare at it.
Cooling, transmissions, axles. They have like the whole section just for LS and these things. Mustang, LS.
I think they have a crate motor section too, though.
Okay, if I have to, well, that's where I can get the short block price for a 4.8 or a 5.3. $700.
Is that a block or the whole short block? That's probably just a block.
Just a block.
Okay, yeah, that's about the same as the 350.
ARP stuff. There's my lifters.
There was a build series, I forget what channel it was on, where they built some LS. It ended up being a 408 cubic inch and a Coyote engine.
Yeah.
And to get the Coyote motor, that channel actually bought a truck to take the motor out of it. It was cheaper than buying the motor.
Get out.
And the LS motor, they're just like, yeah, we just bought like a new one. There it is.
All right. The LS stuff isn't in the LS section.
I'm pretty confident that I'm pretty in the ballpark.
So maybe it's up in the front.
And you can get them cheaper. I know you can get them for like $2,000 or $3,000.
Plumbing, exhaust.
But no one even buys it. People they're from the junkyard.
Yeah.
Some guys have this weird junkyard stipulation where they don't like them, but don't know. They always come from the junkyard. And
just go to the engines things. There's blocks. It's always like half a page where Blue Point has all their stuff.
Yeah, I think all the engines are in one section though.
Heads, harmonic balancers. You know, we'd be able to do this like on the internet by now.
Hence why I throw the catalogs in the trash.
Oil pumps, timing covers. I'm already in cams and engines and components. Figure, well, I'm taking a crap. I always see this stuff all the time, and it's just blocks, blocks, blocks. Where's like the entire engine? Unless they put it in the beginning.
Probably in the very beginning. That's what I was going to say. They put the exciting things there.
It's always carburetors first. Yep. Carburetors and fuelie. Carburetors.
Everyone likes carburetors. They're all exciting and shiny.
Yeah.
The intake manifold.
An extra $100 if you want the super shine.
Yep.
Oh, there we go. It's still not the engine, but unbeatable bolt-on performance combo. Edelbrock Performer. It's the Performer. It's the carburetor and intake combination. Guess how much it is for an Edelbrock carb and intake, the Thunder AVS, and 800 CFM carburetor in the Endura Shine for both.
Ooh. Yes. Endura Shine probably 800.
Keep going up.
9.
Keep going up.
1,000.
It's $1,000. $1,004 for the carburetor and intake.
It's because the intake's polished. That's big money stuff. No one can afford that. That's for the high end people.
That's people who just throw money at their entire freaking Nova.
They're laying their cigars with $100 bills.
Yeah.
Ordering polished intake manifolds.
They win every single trophy.
It's literally, if you picture the Monopoly man building a car, he's ordering the polished intake manifold.
Okay, now we're into LS superchargers. Now we're into blowers. Now we're in air and fuel. So I've run out of patience, and I don't know what an LS thing is. Someone will find it in the comments.
It's going to be twice what an LS is. Even a new one. Mm-hmm. Especially for a new one. And when you factor in junkyard stuff, it's probably going to be like 10 times what an LS is in the junkyard. And I mean, the Coyote, I mean, I don't know what the modern Chevy V8s are making. I mean, I'm sure it's more than what the LS stuff was making, but I'm sure the Coyote might make more, but it still has a cost difference.
Right.
It's the reason why guys still use small block Chevys compared to an LS. Like if you're if you have to justify spending so much to gain so much.
Right. If you just want a cruiser.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then it's fine.
Yeah.
I know. I have this video that I want to make that you inspired, just called SBC SBF. And it's just me and a drum beat and singing a song about how every car show is just small block Chevy. And it was based off of your thing. You just want small block Chevy, small block Chevy, small. Yep. Like the pictures would just fill up. The engine that fought the windmills. I don't know what that means. We're probably going to wrap this up soon. We've been going for almost 2 hours now. We'll go another 10 minutes. Yeah, it's been a night. Had to drive through Western Pennsylvania last week and decided to stop at Sheetz for lunch because of you guys. Your state is ridiculously beautiful. Oh, thank you very much. Glad I took the scenic route instead of the turnpike. Yeah, I mean, you can see a lot in the wintertime, unlike those state highways and U.S. numbered highways.
Yeah. The
second summertime comes, you're driving in a green tunnel.
Yep.
It's just nothing. And it's all, and like, we don't have a lot of corners, but the corners we have completely blind.
These are going through the mountains and it's just green.
I want to make a sleeper. This is Dragon Arcadia. I want to make a sleeper out of a 88 to 91 LTD Crown Victoria. Any thoughts on how I should do it? Okay, were they running 351s or were they running 50s?
Both.
Ah.
I think the cop cars are 351s.
So, unless you want to do an LS swap, cam and valve springs on whatever that, because we've been over this. You don't have to change anything else. Just change your cam profile. And there you go.
I mean, that's close enough to a Fox body. You might as well put a turbo LS in it and leave everything else stop. Boom, sleeper.
Yeah. that hill coming down to Kennington, PA. Not sure I know what that was. I said this earlier in the chat, but watching you guys talk is like watching your dad and grandpa talk about times past.
Oh, I hate the modern world. Very apathetic, angry.
You know, it was weird after driving that Evo, and I'm like, okay, I got experienced a lot of turbo boost and something that turns really well. I kind of like it. And then I'm like, all right, yeah, that was fun. Give me back something older.
I plan to drive that Impala every day.
Nice.
Until I hate it. But I'm going to try and decide I'm going to try and drive it every day.
The thing I'm learning about trying to drive the Falcon a lot in the summertime, or again, my cooling issue is only an issue in August, but again, that's just me having a pusher, I guess. My throat's starting to go, so we're going to wrap this up soon. Is my lack of cup holders and the noise, like wind noise. I found when I'm out on the highway with the Falcon, I put in earplugs. And that was something else that happened in the Yugo. It's just aerodynamics got really good in the 90s.
Yeah, it's not the sealing, it's the aerodynamics.
Yeah.
Because it's still those rubber seals, just that they could figure out what's going to make the air not want to
whistle,
like buffer the windows in and out while you're driving.
Yeah. And also little things like the rain gutters on the roof are like the rain gutters on a house.
And that turned off, that matters.
Oh,
might be over.
Well, we're still here on this.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're still going.
Never mind. The
Mac just took us. Mac went to sleep, but we're still here.
Well, I have that Forester. It's like years now that I got running. And
oh yeah,
that has incredible wind noise.